Hello, everybody. Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World on this very merry, happy Memorial Day, everybody out there in America. Thank you for anybody who has served this country and lost their life. This is a holiday, we celebrate, but it's really, saying goodbye to people who have lost their lives, fighting for this country. And we do appreciate their efforts and their ultimate sacrifice. I'm David Hupp, and right there is Mr. TJ Hopkins. And if you're looking for consistent content on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, Prime Sports World, it's a pretty good place to hang out. Go live 6 or 7 times a week. Please like, share, and subscribe our stuff so we can continue to create good content for you guys. TJ, one real quick before we get into the NBA stuff. I just wanted to give another shout out to my man CM Punk. Last night, won the AEW title off of Hangman Adam Page last night in a match at Double or Nothing in Las Vegas. I wanted to give a real quick shout out to CM Punk before we get into the NBA action. It's nice to see CM Punk back on top, and the summer of Punk has begun.
It's officially begun. Yeah, it's because of his past and how how his tenure in WWE ended. That allows rumors to spark about how he's not getting along with the brass at AEW, and I'm just like, are you sure about that? Because he left once, he can leave again, right? Like, obviously, like, things are going better than what people are allegedly saying they're going, right? So I wish people would just stop with the rumors and BS. And
that's what makes wrestling fun. Like, people just want to rumor that.
No, it's not. It's annoying because you're meddling with a person's livelihood, right? This isn't script, right? Like, you're meddling with a person's, like, this is how he makes his money. Like, for you to come out and say, like, oh, he's not getting along with this company now. It started off great. Now he's like, I don't even think it's been a year.
No, I don't think it hasn't been a year. I think it's only been like, maybe it has been a year. I don't know. This year has kind of flown by. So maybe it has been a year since CM Punk's been in AEW. But I mean, he won the title. He won it off Hangman Adam Page. Congratulations to CM Punk, and it's nice to have CM Punk back in professional wrestling. It's for damn sure. But let's talk. Speaking of being back, the Golden State Warriors are back in the finals 6 times in 8 years. Warriors Celtics is the NBA Finals matchup. The Warriors 53-29, Boston 51-31. Teams split their regular season matchup, if you remember correctly, during that game in March. That's the game where Steph Curry, I think, hurt his ankle and didn't play again in that regular season. And there was some controversy about whether that was a Bush League play by Marcus Smart or not. We're not going to really get into that. We're not really going to get into that portion of it, but the path for each team. Boston, they beat Brooklyn, they beat Milwaukee, and now they beat Miami last night in Game 7. Warriors, they took down the Denver Nuggets. They beat the Denver Nuggets. They beat Memphis, and then they beat Dallas to get where they are now. Real quick, talk about Game 7 before we jump into this series as a whole. What do you think of that shot by Jimmy Butler? Because I hear a lot of mixed reviews about Jimmy Butler taking.
No issue with it whatsoever.
I also don't have an issue with it. I mean, if you're gonna go for the win, go for the win.
Right? You live by Jimmy, die by Jimmy. You're in that position because of him, right? If anybody's allowed to take that shot, he's allowed to take that shot. I ain't trying to hear nothing about Max Strus, who was 1 for 6 before he hit that big 3. That Izzy so low. Like, he just hit the 3. Like, bro, he was 1 for 6, like 1 for 5 prior to that one. And then he got another one, then he missed that one. But you want him to take the one with the game on the line just for him to miss and be like, why didn't you give the ball to Jimmy? Because that's exactly what Izzy would have done. I've known Izzy long enough to feel like if anybody other than Jimmy Butler took that shot, it's gonna be, why didn't you give the ball to Jimmy? Now,
that's always that debate. Like, whenever star players pass up shots, it's always like, oh, why did the star player pass up that shot? Like, this is what happens. You get criticized when you take the shot and don't make it, and then if you pass up that ball and that person doesn't make the shot, you also get criticized for not being willing to take the shot. It's just ridiculous.
Now you can argue that he could have drove in on Al Horford.
Could have.
But you run the risk of 3 things happening really. Him missing the shot, right? Him getting fouled and not getting the call, or him going to the free throw line and missing both free throws. Right? That's a 33% chance of anything in your favor going your way. Or four things if you really count an and one, which is the highest out of the highest unlikely possibility out of the four. So
Yeah,
I
I have no issue with Jimmy Butler taking that shot to go for the win. I think
at
that's
all.
one of those scenarios. It's Game 7. It's like one of those moments like where you're going to kind of cement your legacy right there, and like this is the Jimmy Butler opportunity for him to really, put his
Like
legacy in the upper stratosphere.
y'all want to criticize Jimmy Butler? How about criticizing Bam? Play better.
Yeah, for
Right?
real.
Max
But yeah,
Strus, shoot the ball better.
yeah, I mean, don't make a shot like when it's like play better in that game for sure. Also, I have shared the StreamYard link into all of our places. If you wanted to join and talk some NBA action, talk about this NBA Finals preview. We know you have one viewer watching somewhere right now, so if you want to join our show, the StreamYard links are in the chat. But as I mentioned before, please keep your comments PG. Let's go into it. So let's talk about the matchup. How excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10 about this particular matchup?
Well, when we did our West Conference Final show, like preview show, this was my finals prediction. Right?
Mine
These
too.
are the two most talented teams left. Right on paper, I'm really excited because I think this is the matchup most people wanted. Right? Like this is the bigger names are a part of this a part of this series. Don't get me wrong, Luka is a big name, but he's
doesn't have
my
any close
dude.
to this. He doesn't have the close to the star power of a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green.
Well,
I mean, no offense to him.
he has star power, right? Luka in the finals. Yeah, I'm watching that, but just like I said, it's one guy, right? Here you got the headlines write themselves. Steph and Klay versus Tatum and Brown, right? That's selling right there. Forget Draymond, forget Al Horford, forget Jordan Poole. I got essentially a 2-on-2 battle, right? Tornado tag of Steph and Klay versus Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, right?
Yeah, keeping it in the wrestling spectrum, with the CM Punk shout out.
That's what the people want to see. And for those that don't know, a tornado tag is when all four members are in the ring at the same time. Ain't no tagging. We just out there.
We're just going. We're going.
So Golden State has home court by 2 games, and they literally 2 games. They split their season matchup, like you said. Not really trying to dive into the what happened the second time they played when Marcus Smart's diving for a loose ball. I had no issue with it. Like you can again, Warriors fans, y'all are not the team to cry foul. Please don't. Like don't cry foul, don't cry dirty. Draymond Green plays on your team.
Yeah.
Draymond Green is on your team, right? No, he gets away with more illegal screens, more grabs, more holds, more pulls than probably anybody else in the league right now. Like
he also gets away with more technical fouls than anybody else. Like he would get if anybody else, if it wasn't Draymond Green, he'd be getting technicals all the time.
Like watch you y'all call it dirty, but from top down, like from the players to the coaching, like I'm very excited for this. I'll save my prediction for when we get to that part.
Yep. I think it's also something that's really exciting here. It's kind of like you got a little bit of an old guard versus kind of the new guard. You got the Boston Celtics are quote unquote the new guard with the young Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. And you have the old guard of Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. Also, it's been really exciting to see what Steph Curry's done. What the Warriors have done with this roster. I mean, 2 years ago they won 15 games, and now they're back in the finals. It just shows you what, that they knew they were going to lose Kevin Durant, and they were like, yeah, let's see if we can get an asset out of him. Turn him into D'Angelo Russell, which turned him into Andrew Wiggins. We can make the argument Andrew Wiggins has been probably the most important player on the Warriors in the playoffs. I mean, he was the number 1 defensive player on Luka Doncic. I know Luka Doncic scored a lot of points, but that's a little skewed because if his field goal percentage wasn't all that good, and he had to take a lot of shots to get all those points. But Andrew Wiggins, in drafting, Kuminga, Moses Moody are both being contributors in this finals run.
Well, yeah,
and developing young players. Jordan Poole, Gary Payton, who's going to be back for this in the finals after getting injured during that
Should
Memphis
be.
series. Yeah,
Well,
should be.
he should be. I haven't really heard anything else. Like it was more of like when that first got dropped, it was more of a he could return. Excuse me, he could return to the for the finals, not a he should return or he will return for the finals. I think this is going to be one of those things where it's if he is available, it's going to be one of those like we're going to play it by ear kind of thing, you know. Your Andrew Wiggins point is valid, but it also like yeah, Luka dropped a lot of points, but like you said, it took him a lot of shots to get a lot of those points half the time. But at the same time, it's also if I'm the Warriors, all I got to do is key in on one dude.
Yeah, yeah.
I liken what Luka just went through to what Rose went through in the conference finals against the Heat. Like, bro, all we gotta do is stop one dude. We stop this one guy. They live and die by this one guy, and if we make him struggle, the entire team is gonna struggle. And that's exactly what happened. So yeah, if I'm Mark Cuban, yeah, I gotta get on the phone. I gotta make some moves because you don't want Luka Doncic to be Dirk 2.0. But all this love and praise for Andrew Wiggins, it's easy to do that when you're not the guy, right?
It's true.
You're not the
It's true.
you're not the focal point. Like we saw it we saw what kind of team you had when you had to be option one or option two, right? You were going nowhere fast in Minnesota. Like when you had to be option two to Karl Anthony Towns' option one, lottery 21 seasons. So it's easy. Like it's the same thing with Draymond Green, right? It's easy to not have to worry about scoring when I got Steph who can give me 40 on any given day, Clay who can get hot at the drop of a hat, now Jordan Poole who can get hot, right? It's
And I think
like
that's the other thing about this Golden State Warrior team. I mean, like, because if you get down to the Warriors, like, you know, like because of how good they shoot free throws, their three best players and primary ball handlers, it's like almost impossible to dig yourself out of those holes because they almost never miss free throws.
no, and that's where again I've been saying this for years. Like ever since they've come into their dominance, like a lot of teams try to recreate and copy the Golden State Warriors, but you can't do that, right? Like the easiest, like it says something like we can have all the disdain for them in the world, but like it's easy to say like it says something about them like where the easiest portion of their formula to recreate is Draymond Green, right? Like that's the easiest person to replicate in their formula is Draymond Green, right? You look at like, and if you don't believe me, go back and watch Thaddeus Young in his prime, in his younger years.
Mm-hmm.
Thaddeus Young was literally doing what Draymond Green has been doing his entire career. Only difference is Thaddeus Young has never had a Steph and a Clay to kick out to shoot the ball.
No,
And that's where people that's where the replication fails. Right? You don't have a Steph and the Clay. So yeah, that's where it fails.
So let's get into these individual matchups. Let's start in the guard position. We got Curry and Thompson going up against Smart and Jaylen Brown. This one's pretty cut and dry. Steph Curry is going to be. I had some rumors that like people were talking in like on a group chat. If Steph Curry wins this ring, does he move into the top 10 of all time players?
And
he gets the Finals MVP.
That's still a hell of a mountain. Okay, so like the problem with that is you list whoever you feel like is your top 10 players of all time, and somebody got to come out.
Yeah. I mean, that's always been, that's always the problem with these debates because people,
like,
but I think it moves him into the top 15 for sure.
To me, he has an argument. Like, so let's just off rip, right? Mike, Magic,
LeBron.
Mike, Magic, Bron, Larry in the top 10.
I mean, Shaq, Kobe.
Shaq, Kobe, Tim Duncan. Right? And then a lot of people.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
a lot of people close off their top 10 with Bill Russell and Wilt.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you take out? Like somebody got to come out. And if you say Kobe, you're lying. Like dead ass. If you say Steph Curry is better all time than Kobe Bryant, I'm gonna ask you to find one thing Steph Curry does better than Kobe Bryant other than shoot the ball. Because it ain't defense, and it damn sure ain't leadership.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, but I think you got to give the guards here. I think they have advantage. Easily goes to the Golden State Warriors when it comes to the guard position. I mean, I think you would take both of their guards over you before you even get to one of the guys from the Boston, right? Like you would take Curry and Thompson over Jaylen Brown
And Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
I don't think the gap between them is as wide as people are perceiving it to be. Because let's not act like Marcus Smart can't go get you 25. He can do that.
yeah.
Marcus Smart.
Yeah, he also his shot selection at times has been, especially in these playoffs, has been questionable at best.
Okay, he's had some. Yeah, he's had some brain fart moments, but they are few and far in between. Like they're not. They don't have it often.
They don't. They're not in the finals if they don't have them. So you know, you kind of have to live with his shot selection at times.
Everybody, like the one that, like the two that everybody goes back to is the game 5 where Drew Holiday blocked the shot and then stole the ball from him. Like those were just two great plays by Drew Holiday. So how about giving Drew Holiday the credit he deserves for making the play as opposed to criticizing Marcus Smart for getting the shot blocked and getting the ball stolen from him.
Well, you can make the argument he may have shot them out of game 6 in the Eastern Conference Finals. He did not have a good performance in game number 6, but he backed it up by having a good game in number 7. So you know you got to kind of live and die by what brought you there. Moving to the forward position, we got Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Jason Tatum, and Al Horford. I think this is where the edge goes to Boston. I just think that Jason Tatum has elevated his game to such a level that he's clearly the best player out of these 4 guys. And even with Kuminga's a rookie, so we don't really know. He doesn't really start his minutes. He's just in the starting lineup. Al Horford has been amazing this season. And one of the most underrated offseason trades that people don't really talk about a lot is the fact that they traded Al Horford for Kemba Walker. That ended up being a brilliant move. It ended up freed up, Marcus Smart to become the starting point guard, and it gave them Al Horford back on this team, who's one of those teams that they obviously love playing with him. And his excitement after finally going to the finals, after what was like 170 playoff games, it was the most ever for a player to reach the finals. You could see the excitement at Horford when he was just like, I'm going to the finals. I finally made it. I deserve this. And yeah, this is I think this is easy for Boston, in my opinion, on the forwards.
Yeah, well, the thing with Golden State is we don't know what kind of starting lineup they're going to try out because it Steve Kerr literally bases his starting lineup on whoever he's playing against that night, right? Or in this case, a playoff series. So the 5 that the Mavericks trotted out is not the 5 that Boston's trotting out, right? Like you can't, and the defense that they played in against the Mavericks, I wish the hell you would try to play a boxing one against the Boston Celtics. Right? I wish that would happen. Like I would love that. I know for a fact Wiggins is gonna start. I wouldn't be surprised if Kerr had a lineup of Steph, Clay, Wiggins at the 3, Draymond at the 4, and Looney at the 5.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either because of the size of the Boston Celtics. Because they're rolling out with Williams
and that
center.
Right, and that also that's also the better matchup because Draymond is going to guard Horford. Looney can battle with Robert Williams down there on the block, and they match up head for head straight across the board, right? The only difference is, so if that's the starting lineup, Marcus Smart has to come with it on the offensive end because he has the mismatch. Steph Curry is the weakest link defensively of the Golden State 5.
Yeah.
So they gotta find ways to exploit that, whether it's screen and rolls, a lot of switching. Like they got to find a way to put Curry on Tatum, Curry on Brown. They got to find a way to exploit that.
I mean,
Before,
we're never sure going to do that. I mean, it's going to be a lot of pick and roll. I mean, NBA is already a pick and roll centric, anyways. So, but yeah, I think they're definitely going to be, because Steph Curry's going to be involved in a lot of pick and rolls where they're going to try to get him in foul trouble. They're going to try to force him to be defending bigger guys. That's for sure going to happen.
but yeah, if this is the lineup, if this is the five they tried out with Wiggins and Kuminga, yeah, that advantage definitely goes to Tatum.
Yeah, 100%.
Tatum and Horford.
And then to the center position, Golden State, Draymond Green, former Defensive Player of the Year. Boston doing Robert Williams III, who played in back-to-back games for the first time, and I think like since the beginning of the playoffs, since that Milwaukee series in Game 6 and 7. This has got to go easy Golden State, right? And I mean, Draymond Green is. I mean, much as we hate his antics, he's an essential piece to what Golden State wants to do on offense and defense.
He is. This is Draymond Green, but this is him also out of position. Like he's not a true five, and we know that already.
I mean, there's no positions in the NBA anymore.
Not anymore, no. So like that's why what's his name, Jason Tatum was kind of like he was lobbying for a position like for the All NBA to go positionless now, because like we'll get into that another day.
I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Yeah, because he was like, how the hell can a guy like Joel Embiid finish second in the MVP and not make all NBA first team?
Yeah.
Not make all NBA first team, which.
Yeah, I don't hate that take. I just don't. Like, for real.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, you got a point there, but yeah, this is where you hope Robert Williams is. What you call it? Way more healthier than he's been.
Yeah.
Because his presence at the rim is greatly noticed when he's not in. Right? Like we saw the games where Giannis against Milwaukee, where Giannis was just able to get to the cup at will, and like before Al Horford turned back the clock, and even when Al Horford turned back the clock, like that, it was still.
Let's not pretend like Giannis didn't go for like 35 points a night in that series.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like right, like even when Al Horford turned back the clock, like it was still, Giannis still got to the cup at will. But like you could see where Robert Williams was missed, like his shot blocking. Well, his shot blocking, his ability to alter shots, and his rebounding, right? Like that was missed in the games that he wasn't. Like we literally saw Bam go for 31 in one of the games that Robert Williams didn't play.
Yeah, so it makes a huge difference when he's on the floor and when he's not on the floor. To their reserves now, Golden State's rolling out Jordan Poole, Kevon Looney, and Gary Payton II. Boston, they got Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, and Grant Williams. I think that this match, when it comes to the reserves, I think this is actually a pretty, because I think Jordan Poole is the best of this group, but I think Boston, those three guys that they're going to be using off their bench, I think are more valuable than the three guys that Golden State's going to be using. Otto Porter Jr., I think, is still hurt. I don't know if he's going to play in this series or not.
Again, like the Warriors.
And I'm also not sure about Gary Payton. So
the Warriors lineup is a little different, right? Again, I'm fully expecting a starting five of Curry, Klay, Andrew, Draymond at the 4, and Looney at the 5. So like their reserves are going to look vastly different. So we already know Poole is going to come off the bench. Gary Payton, GP2 is a question mark. So as of right now, you got to rule that he's not going to play.
He's trending in the right direction. The reports have said that he's trending in the direction of playing.
Trending in the direction of playing.
But how much a guy hasn't played in a month.
In a month.
How much rust is he gonna have to shake off? How much is he actually going to impact any of these games? I would think if he plays 10 minutes a night, I'd be pretty shocked.
And again, like this is, shout out to Steve Kerr for having all the faith in the world in your soldiers. You're supposed to, but hey, like at the end of the day, like if I put you out there and you're doing more harm than good, You're gonna have to come sit next to me, partner. It is what it is. So the reserves for Golden State, right? Poole is gonna continue to be the reserve, right? I think Moody has earned some playing time, which is why I said that even if Payton is ready to come back, you don't necessarily have to play him, right? You can you can move Kuminga to the bench, and you can play Moses Moody off the bench, and Damian Lee off the bench, and Toscano Anderson, right? So like you don't have to rush him back if and you say he's trending in the right direction, but
yeah. And they got
like still like you don't have to.
Bialicha play some legitimate minutes for them too. So
And on the Boston side, Derek White, yeah, Grant Williams, keep being like when they go. So like this is gonna be like the battle of the death lineups, right? When it's Smart, Tatum, Brown, Grant Williams, and Horford on when that's day 5 versus Curry, Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, and fill in the blank, right?
Jordan Poole probably.
Jordan Poole, right? That's gonna be in. That's what the people want to see, right? Grant Williams, can you keep shooting 40%? Can you keep Draymond out of the paint? Can you continue to be that threat that you've been this postseason, right? Oh, and shout out to Lethal Shooter, right? David, if you don't know who Lethal Shooter is, he was a college basketball player, didn't make it to the pros. He's literally turned himself into a shooting coach. That's how he's worked with Grant Williams. He's worked with Al Horford. He's worked with a bevy of NBA players, right?
I mean, Grant Williams shot 41% from the three during the regular season and 40% in the playoffs. So, kudos.
Shout out to Lethal Shooter. So yeah, like that's probably how that's gonna work, right? Al Horford, can you continue to be a sniper from the outside, right? As long as those two dudes are hitting, as long as those two bigs are hitting shots, that's what that does guess what that does to Draymond. That takes him away from the basket where he can't rebound and he can't push the break.
Al Horford shooting 43% from three in the whole season. 43. Whew. That's impressive.
Peyton Pritchard. So like Peyton Pritchard, we already know. Like you already gotta know. Like if you're playing, they coming right at you.
Mm-hmm.
They coming right at you. Like you are going to be the miss. Like you are going to be the defensive exploitation. Like they coming right at you. They gonna put you in all the pick and rolls, isolations in the world, bro. Like you gonna see it. They coming. All right,
and then
who else they got?
Boston. I mean, they have. I mean, they don't really play anybody. I mean, Aaron Nesmith barely touches the floor. They got Daniel Tice, who's matchup based. That's basically all they play. I mean, they have those guys are the only guys they really play. Moving on from there, we got the Golden State Warriors. We got the coaching debate.
And Daniel Tice can shoot. Daniel Tice can shoot. Don't forget that.
He can shoot it. From the coaching debate, Golden State Warriors, you obviously have Steve Kerr. And Ami Udoka is the coach of the Boston Celtics in his first season. I think he might be I think in Boston Celtics history, he's the first coach to ever go to the finals in his first season as a head coach of the Boston Celtics. So kudos to him.
Oh, don't we got to fact check that one.
Yeah, I go. But when it comes to I mean, Steve Kerr, what he's done with this Golden State Warriors team, I mean, it's got to be really, really impressive. I mean, he's basically so you lose Kevin Durant and you basically tool a team that was like one of the best teams of all time, and you've done a good job. I mean, he's really developed these players and the way they've developed. The Juan Toscano Andersons of the world, GP2, and Jordan Poole has been a big development. Jordan Poole, remember when he was drafted, Jordan Poole was like, people were questioning why they were taking Jordan Poole when people thought he was like a second round talent or undrafted player. His development's been amazing.
And that's why. Well, those two
and that system that the Golden State Warriors run is just so entertaining to watch.
Yeah, those 2 years of them being horrible definitely helped. Their G League program is second to none. Like I'm curious as to how the Santa Cruz Warriors, which is their G League affiliate, hasn't won more G League titles. Like the Raptors have one of the best G League programs. The Rockets have the second best G League program, and the Santa Cruz Warriors, like they up there, is when the G League don't get talked about enough in terms of how crucial they play in the development of certain players. And Jordan Poole is evident. If there's ever a reason to go down to the G League, look at Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
Right? Like he spent that whole year, that especially his rookie year, he spent that up and down, up and down, up and down in the G League, getting called up, sent back down, called up, sent back down. Like mentally that can take a toll on you. Like, and I get, like, you got to understand that, you know, on a week to week basis, basically, like you're 2 weeks you're good enough to be in the NBA, and then the next month you might be down in the G League. Like that could weigh on a young dude, right? Because you're like, damn, I got the talent to play, but why do they keep sending me down? Don't question it. Just
Well, I mean, the contract is those 2-week deals are. So I think you have to understand, like you're like only allowed to play so many games on the active roster.
Exactly, and I'm that, and Ime Udoka is, man, like way to turn it around, man. Like way to.
First black Celtics coach to make it to the NBA Finals for Ime Udoka.
And his what?
Just period.
No.
First black Celtics head coach to make it to the NBA Finals ever.
No, Bill Russell did it. Bill Russell. Like,
I guess I'm just going off of this stat. Like, I mean, maybe this is wrong.
I mean, I don't know if I don't know if they count Bill Russell, because when Bill Russell did it, he was a player coach, so he was still playing, but he was also the acting head coach of the team. So I don't know if they disqualify that, because technically Bill Russell was still playing and just not solely a head coach.
I don't think there's anything about that. That's never mind. Don't just ignore it, because Doc Rivers was the coach of that team, right? That went to the finals.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't. Never mind. Just forget it.
I mean, like if they playing off here, like, because Ime Udoka he's Nigerian, so maybe that's what they trying to do. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Never mind.
But I don't know how Brad Stevens could never get this team over the hump, and then insert Ime Udoka, who in his first year as the head coach got them over the hump. Right? We always, under Brad Stevens, we always saw them get knocked out second round conference finals. They never got over the hump, and they finally did it. Right? Like Jaylen Brown was caught in the middle of the celebration. They said, talking to Jason Tatum, they said we couldn't play together. Well, dude, for a while there, we were right.
Yeah.
Right? Like, don't, like, again, yeah, y'all turned it around, but don't act like 4 or 5 months ago, 6 months ago, they were talking about blowing y'all up because y'all were in the 11th seed. Like that's what y'all were.
So let's talk X factors. So what's your ultimate X factor, and what's your prediction for the series?
My X factor is the Celtic defense. Right? You gotta be able to weather whatever storms Golden State dishes out, because we already know how it is. When they get going, they get going. The Chase Center is gonna get rocking. They get loud. So as long as you when you get down 10, I don't want to see no head drop. I don't want to see I don't want to see no shouting, no finger pointing, like none of that. Right? Just keep a level head, all that good stuff. Like that's my ex. Like, just continue to play defense. It's easier said than done, but if the whistle ain't going your way, if they calling quick fouls for them and not for you, like, don't try your hardest not to overreact to that. I know that's easier said than done, but yeah, that's my X factor for the Boston Celtics. And for Golden State, same thing. Right? Play defense. You literally let one dude cook y'all for 5 games. Right? this Celtic team got hitters, right? Tatum can get hot, Brown can get hot, Horford can get hot. We literally saw a game where Grant Williams hit 8 threes. He can, right? So Marcus Smart can get hot. Like, yeah, if you're Golden State, play defense. It's the same thing for them.
So my X factor is actually for the same for both these teams. Play at your own pace, right? Because
Okay.
I mean, like you have Miami. You have Boston who wants to play a little bit slower, half court set pace. They're not as built to go like the run and gun of the Golden State Warriors. If you're the Warriors, you should want to turn up the pace on these games, and like you should want to be slowed down, like bogged down by possession after possession. Like you should be trying to get out and move the basketball quickly as you can. For my prediction, I'm gonna take the Warriors in 5. I just think I look at the Boston Celtics. I just don't think they're good enough to beat this Warriors team. I think the Warriors, when they put that death lineup out there,
You are disrespectful. You are so disrespectful.
I just think when I look at the Warriors, I think this is a team that's built to win a title, and they win a championship. They have
there's nothing
and
about
Steph Curry wins the MVP of the finals. Finally,
there's nothing about Boston that says they're good enough to win this. There's nothing that says that.
No,
There's nothing.
I mean, they have. I like Jason Tatum as a player. I think that offensively, he's a fantastic basketball player. But I look at the overall Warriors team. I just think it's a better basketball team. I think they bring more to the table. I just think that they bring that championship pedigree too. And Steve Kerr's a better coach. Give me the Warriors in 5. I'm going Warriors in 5.
That's literally the one thing they have. They have
Boston will get 3. Get game 3, and then they'll be beaten 4 and 5.
My God! No, come on, man. Like if you would have said that Golden State in 5 because the Celtics are just exhausted at this point. Like
they for sure are. I mean, they went through 2 7-game series in a row.
Then I would.
And they've also been beat to hell.
I would buy that way before you say the Celtics have nothing, like they're just not good enough to win this. Because that's a damn lie. That is asinine that you said that.
I think Golden State has a superior roster. That's just my
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
It's not like superior. Like it's just that much. No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It is.
No, it's not. It is not that much better than the Boston Celtics. No, it is not.
And let me hear your prediction. No, you want to criticize my prediction before you even make yours.
It's like no, like I'm like if the Golden State Warriors don't knock them out, like because we've seen Boston take a shot, we've seen them get knocked out, well knocked down and get right back up. Right, Milwaukee did it, Miami did it. Every game that Boston got blown out, they came back and answered with with a blowout of their own.
Yeah, true. I mean, they are battle tested. I'll give them that. So
I'm gonna take the Celtics in 7. I think they beat them in Golden State they're gonna beat Golden State in Golden State. Boston in 7. Like the fact that they're just not good enough to win.
Yeah, I mean they're also banged up. I mean they've been beat to shit. I mean they've gone through 7-game series in a row. I just think that it's all gonna catch up with them at some point. Also, to testament your point, these conference finals MVPs that has to go.
Yeah, that's
like it just feels stupid. Like it doesn't feel like anything anyone cares about winning. Like Steph Curry, they hand it to Steph Curry. They're like, here you go. He's like, all right, that's fine. Okay, I got an award. It's like, all right.
Like seriously, like why do they just continue to create meaningless anything? Like it's just why not make a second round MVP?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Or first round MVP. Like take all the series in the first round. Whoever wins that, pick the best player with the best stats of the first round, in the second round, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah, the NBA just has so much money. They just we're just gonna create frivolous awards and just hand them out to people. It's fine.
That's just so stupid, and they're gonna use that to it's already the NBA Hall of Fame is already the easiest one to make it into. Like now, you just made it that much more easy.
Yep.
Right, because let's just say a player wins hey man, I was conference finals MVP.
Oh yeah, I got that.
Hey,
You can't take that away from me.
I was conference like what?
Yeah, we'll see.
So you mean to tell me like and the NBA offices like when they're talking stuff, right? You got you got teams relocation talks, you got expansion talks, right? You got draft talks, you got ownership talks, you got CBA negotiations, all that good stuff, and somehow, some way, conference finals MVPs made it to the discussion board and was an actual topic that was talked about, voted on, and won the popular vote to get made.
Yep. I mean, the NBA, they just have all the money. They don't even care. We'll be back here tomorrow, talking about the teams that didn't make the into the NBA Finals. Talk about their future, what they can look to do in the offseason. And then we're gonna check back in on this series probably on Friday. So hopefully, have fun. Enjoy it. I think the first game's on Thursday. So the Warriors have had a week off. Boston will get 4 days to rest before the finals start.
Let's check back after game, whenever game 2 is.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we'll do. But yeah, I've been David Huffman. Right there is Mr. TJ Hopkins. And please continue to check us out at all the places, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We are Prime Sports World in all the places besides Twitter, where we are PSW_David. Please like, share, and subscribe to the show. It does help us out a lot, and we do appreciate it. TJ, what do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
We criticize conference MVPs because it's just so stupid.
We also bring the heat. It's 86 degrees here in South Suburb of Chicago. Hopefully, you guys all have a fantastic Memorial Day. And once again,
I wish I was able to go to the beach. Like I need to go to the beach today. Like that. Man, that's just pissed me off. Conference Finals MVP. Like that's what y'all.
We'll be back here. We'll be back here tomorrow. You guys all have a good rest of your day and have a fantastic Memorial Day, everybody. TJ, I'll talk to you later, buddy.
And stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe. Peace out, brother.